What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 5 of Hit the Books, the podcast here to give you all the sports news, sports talk, sports gambling, sports trends, sports coverage, you name it in sports, and we at Hit the Books want to deliver it to you each and every week. Do not forget to check us out on our various social media platforms. The link is in the description below, as well as please rate and review our podcast wherever you happen to listen. Helps us out a ton. Week 1 over week 2 as well. The weeks are just flying by. I, myself, not doing so hot on my card, but very happy with my anytime touchdown performance. Now we approach week 3, 16 games for us to analyze for your enjoyment and improve your picks for this week. So let's move on over and introduce my co-hosts. Coming to us from Morgantown, West Virginia, we have Mackey. Mackey, how's it going this week?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, a little more to talk about this week as sports are starting to pick back up, as like the NBA and the NHL and stuff like that. My football card's been pretty on fire right now, so let's keep rolling with it while we can. And I've had a few winning days in a row, so that's nice to have. Other than that, yeah, just basic football. So, what's going on with you guys?
Heck yeah, Tail the boy. Next up, from somewhere in Rhode Island, but not Providence, we got Ace.
Yeah, definitely not Providence, just work from there. First off, before I get started, I got to talk about Mackey wearing a Red Sox hat as a Yankees fan. That's despicable. I can't even believe
he's
that.
a Mets fan. He's a Mets fan.
Yankees fan, Mets fan. If you're from New York and you wear a Red Sox hat,
that's not true.
That's hilarious.
Mets fans and Red Sox fans have a lot in common, and that's hating the Yankees. So I think this is all right to wear.
I mean, at least the Red Sox are good during our lifetime.
It's also a fresh hat, so like. There's that too.
I mean, normally I would say bandwagon, but the Mets aren't garbage for one time in our life. So, I mean, we'll roll with it. I'll cheer for him. I guess it chips. If it fits, it chips. But yeah, happy to be talking about week 3 here. My Patriots getting a big win over those Yinzers out in Pittsburgh. Easy dub. Saw that coming every day of the week. AFC East better than the AFC North. Yeah, but no, ready to get into week 3. A lot of big things we saw from last week. Gonna expect to see a lot more this week.
Good stuff, Ace. Excited to hear what you got. And finally, the final member of our crew here with me in Pittsburgh. We got Huff. Huff, what's happening, buddy?
Not much. Basically, kind of the polar opposite of what Mackey said. Ice cold on the card, looking to turn things around. Can't get much worse than I've been. Hope you've been fading me 100%. Yeah, so looking to turn things around week 3. Got a couple plays I'm liking already, so take that for what you will. Maybe just keep fading me. We'll see how that works out for you. But, yeah, looking to turn things around on the card. Not much. Been doing all right off the card. Just seems like everything I put on, I can't get any fucking love from it. So, hoping to get some luck back and get the fucking first win of my season, week 3. Did not imagine I'd be saying that sitting here right now, but always got to find the first one. Just got to get the first one.
Yo, but here's the thing, bro. Like, an 0-13 record is actually like impressive. It gets like that'll get views.
It's not though. I don't.
Off. Keep on keeping on. Let's go, kid.
All right, let's jump into some of these headlines. We got some good stuff out of the NHL, some retirements, a signing or two. First up, we have star defenseman PK Subban is announcing his retirement at age 33 after 13 seasons in the NHL. Good guy coming out of Montreal, Nashville, a couple of spots. You guys got anything good to say about him?
Yeah, definitely someone that highlights the NHL, kind of a face of the NHL over the past decade or so. Someone I always wanted to see in Boston, actually, my whole time. We got to see his younger brother Malcolm there playing net for a little bit before he got dealt. It just seemed like PK always was going to end up somewhere in Boston. But very decorated career, you know. Went to the Stanley Cup, married Lindsey Vonn, so I mean, good guy.
You thought he was going to end up in Boston after he accused your fan base of racial slurs a number of times?
Yeah, I did.
True.
A lot of people do that all the time. It's Boston; they get that bad rep. But the thing is, I always thought he was going to end up with that team, that core. He's a Canadian guy. You could see when he played with like Marchand and Bergeron and stuff like that, in the way that Subban, or his younger brother Malcolm Subban, loved playing there.
Wasn't his younger brother not that good?
He was, which one? The one that played goalie for Boston?
The goalie, yeah.
No, he was pretty good. He played for Vegas and Chicago. He's like
I just remember him bouncing around.
He's a steady
middle tier backup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
His potential was always off the charts because of his athleticism, but I think he was one of those goalies that was too aggressive.
I don't think he could ever been a starting goalie in the NHL though.
No, I think he was
Didn't
too
have it in him.
small too, maybe, right? Too small.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he might have been too small. All right, with that, another retirement. Zdeno Chara signs a one-day contract with the Boston Bruins to allow him to retire a Bruin. Good stuff for you, Ace, up there. Zdeno Chara, big name, always a Bruin.
Get this guy out of the league.
Yeah, get him out of the fucking league.
Big Z. He should have retired as a Bruin earlier in his
Why
career.
the hell did he even leave? Like, what an idiot.
Yeah, he was
for
going.
every team in the Met.
I think he still just wanted to play. The Bruins literally didn't even offer him a contract. He was playing on like $1 million contract in Washington and then again in New York. But yeah, definitely a great career. I mean, even more decorated than PK Subban, obviously. Great humanitarian for the game too. But instilling that culture in Boston and getting that much needed Stanley Cup. I mean, you don't see a lot of cities really get those often. I know you guys were pretty blessed with Sid the Kid, but Chara's ability to lead us to one. It's the only one in my lifetime. Only one in a long time. Fell short against the Blues, but always showed his heart, and the size is just unmatched. And those fights, his epic fights against the big guys from other teams, you can't forget. So definitely a great career, and happy retired as a Bruin, the OG captain.
I always liked Zdeno Chara. He was always a little weird looking, but I liked him.
I literally, anytime I think of him, I just think of the hardest shot competition where he was like fucking skating. My thing with the hardest shot competition and like those records, it's like you skate 30 feet into the puck. Like, yeah, those dudes should be ripping at 109.
How many feet did you get to skate into it when we were in the All-Star competition?
They let me go from the blue line to the blue line to the top of the circles.
Would you hit 110?
No, 92, I think.
It's not bad though. I remember you did pretty well on that.
Everyone was telling me to
You
shoot a
were there.
wrist shot. I'm like, I just shot it.
You were too young too. Everybody else there was like a senior and
Yeah, I was a
junior's
sophomore.
age
That was
out.
my sophomore year, freshman year.
Yeah.
Cunningham was the
You're not
coach. That was my
expected to
freshman
know.
year.
It was just
It's like
so
Elias
weird.
Pettersson
That
in the
was
hardest shot
Yeah.
competition. They had that all mixed up. That's all right. Me and you showed out pretty well.
Yeah, we got a
At least
sick
we
flick
weren't-
at that. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. We were there.
We were there.
Big signing out.
Mackey, you make one of those yet?
You
Come
should.
on.
What do you
One
mean,
day.
come on? You should be. You're telling me you're not the best goalie in the ACC?
Well, I don't think I made it last year. I don't even think they had one last year.
It's every other
I think
year.
about it.
The All-Star.
not
the
the
All-Star
All-Star
thing that
game.
Addison went to.
Oh, that thing they haven't done that since Addison because that next year they were supposed to do it was COVID year.
Oh.
It's a lot better now, huh? It's like a game instead of the skills competition like we did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like just like the hockey now is a lot better too.
Yeah, hockey gets better every year. College hockey is eventually going to be top tier, but it's still got to get its way.
Too many American kids.
The Americans are getting better, though. They're getting better.
They definitely are.
Big signing out of Colorado, 27-year-old Nate McKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche agreed to a huge deal, 8 years, $100.8 million, coming out to $12.6 million a year, becoming the highest of any NHL player. $85.34 million of that will be paid out as signing bonuses. It's a pretty interesting contract here for Nate McKinnon out of Colorado. He's staying put. What do we think?
I think we saw this coming after the Cup and the Conn Smythe, or not the Conn Smythe. Didn't McCarr win the Conn Smythe?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but I mean, McKinnon was the heart and soul of that team, going to and being the favorite they were all the way through, up and through the playoffs last year. How dominant they were. Would they lose 2 games up until the Cup? I think they lost to St. Louis and they went to 6 with St. Louis, and then they swept Nashville and Edmonton. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think they were ready to give him the big money, and I think McKinnon said at one point when they asked him about his contract, he said it's not going to be a single digit, so he was looking upwards of 10 to get re-signed with the Avalanche, and obviously he gets his deal at 8 years, going to be a part of that team, and looking like they're going to, I mean, they have the necessary tools to run things right back. They lost pieces like Kadri to Calgary, but, I mean, that team's just going to reload, But I don't know what you guys got on this, Ace. I know you sent this to us. You're pretty high on McKinnon. You like that deal I saw.
Yeah, definitely excited for that deal. I mean, give that guy whatever money he wants. Consensus second best player in the NHL and maybe third, I guess, if you want to put Matthews ahead of him for his scoring ability. But Nathan McKinnon just led his team to the Stanley Cup. I mean, not that big of news to me. I'd expect they'd give him the blank check. I mean, it's Nathan McKinnon. I mean, we expected this deal. Big extension, big years. He'll play it out there in Colorado.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this deal. I'm happy to see him stay put, but I don't think it's a big surprise.
Yeah, last thing I want to say on that, I wonder how much they're going to end up paying McCarr after that.
More.
Yeah, but how are you going to field the team around them? I mean, we've seen them win last year with piece together lineup.
I mean, that's why it's so hard to build a dynasty. A lot of teams can win one championship. It comes down to what the front office can do to build these contracts and build a team for years to come. So like, they got the lineup, and they have the studs. It comes down to, when these guys start getting paid up for or due for contracts like this. Clearly, McKinnon's now making 12 on the payroll, and this is salary cap league. This isn't baseball where you can just hand around this money for a rich owner. They got to work those deals, and you know what I mean? Some of these guys got to take a team-friendly deal. You got to start looking at third and fourth liners. Who do you see as a part of this team for the next 3 to 5 years? And that's something the Penguins went through, the Blackhawks went through, the Kings went through. These teams that won multiple cups over, so many years. The Penguins more of a stretched run with 09 and then 16-17. But you look at the Blackhawks, the 3 and 5 years, it really is more than the players at that point. It's the front office building these teams and giving them the ability with the contracts to be contenders year in and year out and not dump themselves with $12 million on your center and 16, or just to throw a number out, $15 million on your young defenseman that, I mean, he looks like a stud, but that could have been, the best year he's ever going to have. Who knows? You know what I mean? Ace, I don't know what you got to say on this, but.
No, Hoff, I couldn't have said it any better myself. I just want to make you know that you should err on the side of caution when talking about that Chicago front office. Not as hyped up as you'd think.
The tough news coming out of Chicago in the past couple of years about that, but I mean, 3 cups in 5 years.
Yeah, on ice ability unmatched. You couldn't have said it better myself. Just tragedy what they have.
Yeah, that's why like in the NFL, it's so hard for these teams to go back to back. It's like, yeah, it comes down to having players, but like these dudes want money. They're you know what I mean? Your backup quarterback is now a Super Bowl champion. Your backup running back that was getting 10 carries a game, he's now a Super Bowl champion. He wants, he's adding that to his resume. You got to give him these. They think they're now worth the extra $2 million a year. They'll go play from. I mean, Ace, we've seen it. You've seen players go from New England to I'll go play a year in Miami, and then they go 4 wins. They don't care. They're making $9 million a year. It's about the money. Like everyone wants a ring, but. Comes down to these front offices to be able to put
the bag.
Exactly, yeah.
Good stuff there. One more retirement here. After 1,109 career NHL games, Keith Yandle's hanging up the blades, setting a new Ironman record, playing through a broken jaw, among other injuries, deserve that title. Pretty good guy there. No complaints from him that I can think of.
I was listening to Chicklets today. He actually announced the retirement on Chicklets, and
saw that.
It was the most casual announcement ever. He was like, yeah, boys, your fan base has been so much to me. You guys have done so much for me. I just want to say this here. I'm calling it quits. And then they just kind of were like, damn, dude, congratulate. You know what I mean? The whole 9 yards of what you think would come after that. But it was no build up, the most casual, to start an episode. Imagine one of us just announcing our retirement from the NHL right now. That's how casual it was.
Yeah, that Ironman streak he had going along, and I remember them propping that up huge. It's pretty sick. He got that collab. Might see him on that pod in the future, I bet.
Honestly, you might.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, he's good on the mic whenever he comes on. He's been a very frequent guest for them, and they're definitely boys. So I definitely could see that coming. Do you listen to them a lot, Ace?
From time to time, more during this. I listen to each podcast with the season.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Alrighty, and some interesting news coming out of Winnipeg. They have stripped the C from Blake Wheeler and will go without a captain for this upcoming season. Thought this was a pretty interesting point.
It just means he's getting traded, in my opinion.
Yeah, something's happening.
That's such a...
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a really weird move.
Yeah, that just means we're moving on. So there's something there behind the scenes that it was probably a mutual thing, and they're saying, we'll have you out of here before playoffs or before the deadline, so just give us the C and we'll have you on your way out.
Rebuild in Winnipeg?
They got young players. Connor.
They
Oh,
went as
Connor.
far as they could 2 years ago, though. The last 2 3 years, not last year, but the years
Conference
prior.
finals, yeah.
I think they're gonna blow it up. I agree with Mackey. I could see Wheeler on the way out.
Yeah.
They got to get rid of Dubois and Connor. That's pretty
Dubois,
much
they already
what
said
they
he
gotta
already requested another trade. I thought he just can't fucking pick a team that he wants to play for.
do.
That dude just seems like
He's a good
more.
player,
He
though.
just
I
seems
like
like more of a problem than a good player, though. Like he's now been with what 2 teams or 3 teams, and he just I think it's his second or third trade
Who
request.
did he start with?
Columbus
No, yeah, he went from Columbus to
for
Tampa.
Line.
Yeah, it's only second team.
Yeah, but 2 teams, 2 trade requests in like 3 years.
Yeah, it's definitely the Kyrie of the NHL.
I was gonna say like this dude must. I mean, you're a good, like that's where someone's gotta sit this dude down like in his circle and be like, you're a good player, dude. You gotta stop fucking requesting trades. Like sign a
Yeah,
deal.
maybe you're the problem.
Yeah, it's.
Lots of good stuff out of the NHL. I am pumped for the NHL season to start here. Preseason starting here this Saturday. Very excited about that.
Is it really?
Yep.
Damn.
24th.
Let's go. That's hype.
I think the Pens' first one's on Sunday or Monday.
I hate preseason hockey.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. I can't even watch it.
Nobody watches that, but at least they get their legs under them better than the NFL.
Right. Rumors are flying around Morgantown as CBS Sports predicts if the Mountaineers lose to Virginia Tech this Saturday, this could be the final time we see Neil Brown as the head coach of West Virginia. All right, Mackey, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, he's had a pretty bad reign in West Virginia. Coming in after, I think he came in the year after Will Greer left, took over as Holgerson's spot, who I think went to Houston. But I don't think he's had one winning season since he's been here. And if it was like maybe one game over or an even record or something. He just hasn't gotten it done as West Virginia head coach. And being a big football school, you expect a lot out of this team. So they definitely got to move on if they can't figure it out right now. They're 1-2. You got a big rivalry game coming up. You got to win this game.
Yeah, the way I look at it is if he doesn't win football games, why is he still there? I know he can allegedly recruit. He did well with that Troy team. But what it matters to West Virginia, all those fans of that game, is W's on the scoreboard. So if he doesn't put it together, I'd say it's time for someone else.
Yeah, college is such a kind of like if you don't have one of the big names in college, and I know like you got to let them build their program and build their, you know what I mean, what they want to run. But I mean, college, if you're not getting it done in your early on years, it's not the kind of sport where I think you're going to figure it out and turn around. It's such a sport that's changing. These kids are graduating and going on to the NFL every year. It's changing every season. If you can't adapt going from, I mean, like you said, you had some success at the lower level with Troy in a different division or a different conference, but Big 12, not necessarily known as a huge football conference outside of Texas and your Oklahomas of the world, but you got your couple your schools every year with your Baylors and your West Virginia have their years, but like you said, Mackey, the past couple of years, Neil Brown hasn't gotten it done. I think it's time for a new voice down there. I haven't been a fan of him since we signed him, so I'm going to be the one saying let's just get rid of him. I think they should have done it after who'd they lose to the second week? Who'd they lose to at home? Home opener, Kansas. Yeah, should right after that. You're done.
Don't get me wrong; they're actually not a bad team this year.
Yeah, they're what are they 2-0 or they're undefeated?
They're 3-0. They just beat Houston. They pumped.
Yeah, they're 3-0.
So they got a good team this year, but
Kansas plays Duke this weekend, and they're both undefeated in football.
They want College Game Day to go there.
Yeah, because it's a fucking obviously the reason is because they're both better at basketball than they are football.
Yeah, like huge basketball schools. They're both 3-0 in football playing against each
I
other.
heard someone talking about. Could you imagine if they would have done this game in like November, December, the same night, or like you know what I mean, with the basketball teams playing each other? That would have been madness, and wherever the game was.
Can't make that shit up.
Yeah. But like you said, Kansas isn't bad, but yeah, I'm ready for a new coach for WVU.
Definitely. Get them out of here.
Those are our boys, but such a weak team to be talking about.
Yeah.
Neil Brown, got to bring him back to relevance, or else you're out, bud.
Good offense.
And I don't see him doing that.
Like defense is poverty.
Yes, good stuff out of the college football world. I'm excited to jump into that each and every week. Let's hope for some picks.
1-1 on the college football card last week. We'll bring that in. I've been doing pretty nice in college football, way nicer than the NFL. So
let's get some picks out.
Me and Mackey had a nice little card last weekend. The T's are hitting. Texas Tech couldn't cover late. But I think we're 3-1 or 3-2 or 4-2 in college football. So we have a nice team card rolling in college football. So definitely stay tuned for the picks on that. We've been cooking those ones up.
Yeah, those teasers keeping us alive.
Yeah, they are.
Not in the NFL, they're not for me.
All right, it's time. Let's jump into week 3 of the NFL. Let's break down each and every game for Yins. Let's start off with some trends to get us going. First up, we have teams this year with 60% or more of the public bets are 2-10 against the spread in their games. So I find that pretty interesting. Don't take the team with all the bets, the public bets.
So yeah, fade the public.
Fade the public.
Fade me.
Fade the real Tyler Huffnagel. Lock.
Fade the real Tyler Huffnagel. Also, so far this year, the under is 22-10 through week 2, as well as 6-1 in the primetime games. So the under is taking over this year thus far. Sportsbook's got to be following on that.
I'll tell you what, I'm over the under.
Over the under, you say?
No scoring.
I like that. How long were you thinking about that line before you said it?
I don't know. It's corny as hell, though.
My bad, muted mic there. But no, after I heard Jesse say the under going over, I was like, oh, I gotta give it right back to him. The over's going under. Yeah, so I'm over that under, like I said. But these teams got to start putting the ball in the end zone because life's too short to bet the under. Like I told Mackey with those
True that.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, you did.
All right, let's jump into these games. The first one up, we got Thursday night. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. The Browns coming in as the favorite at -4.5, the money line at -210, and the over-under at a low 38.5. Steelers money line at +176 on FanDuel. Steelers and Browns are both coming off losses last week. Some trends I got are Steelers are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 against Cleveland. Browns are 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 when playing as the favorite, and 3-9 against the spread in their last 12 at home. What do you guys got for me, Huff? You want to start with this one?
Yeah, I do like the Steelers coming in this spot. A short week off a tough loss against a up-and-coming Patriots team. Not saying they're too hot this season. I'm not really expecting too much out of them, but I did have the Steelers winning that game, so I gave them the 3 points, got the push. But to talk this week, I think they come off the loss this week and have a bounce-back week in Cleveland against another weak quarterback in the NFL, Jacoby Brissett, showing his true colors last week, blowing the game against the Jets. I just think the Steelers, a TJ Wattless Steelers team losing by 3 last week at home was a tough loss. I think they come, like I said, bounce back quick week. That sometimes is a good thing, sometimes is a bad thing. I think coming off a loss, it's more of a better thing than coming off a win. So I like the Steelers with the points here. I'll take them. I think you said 4.5. I've seen 5. I was looking here on DraftKings. I think I saw 5. But, I'm going to take the Steelers with the points. So the over-unders, like we said, me and Mackey were talking a little bit before we started recording. It's just sitting so low. I do see this score being 17, 13, a low score at 20 to 14, something around there. So, you're flirting with that 38. I also said, Mackey, I could see it sitting right at 40, 41. So, they're sharp with these lines, so we know it could be sitting right around there. But, Mackey, who you got here tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, I really like the Steelers in this spot. I think they match up really well against this team and a bad quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. I love the under, and I know it's a really low under, 38.5, but this is a divisional matchup where the playbook is shortened, and teams are not really, especially these two teams, they're not really throwing the ball downfield a lot. They're just trying to get quick first downs and elongate the drives a little, I think. So I think this is a really slow game, and I think Pittsburgh's defense and Mike Tomlin are used to situations like these where they usually come out on top. So I think this is a game.
And Cleveland's going to be hammering the ball with Chubb and Hunt, like we saw what Chubb did last week with the 3 touchdowns and all the yards again. But in a losing effort. So
They're gonna get
Ace,
they're gonna get their
Go
yards.
ahead, Mackey.
They're definitely gonna get their yards, and they're not gonna.
But
be
that just means the clock's rolling. So
clock's rolling, and I think Pittsburgh contains it for the most part, at least.
Yeah, I'm actually on the complete other side than you guys. Coming into this week, I was looking at the games. And I saw the Steelers line at plus, I think it's 280, 290, something like that. I was like, oh, I'm going to be all over that Thursday Night Football divisional game, the Pittsburgh Steelers. But then, as I started to think about it more and more over the days, I realized, oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't playing because TJ Watt's not playing. Without him, I think they don't have any chance to win the game. That Cleveland Browns team is being looked at with no Deshaun Watson. Everybody's putting their eyes on Jacoby Brissett, when in reality, they should be putting their eyes on that Cleveland Browns defense. They're going to have the best player on the field in Myles Garrett. He's going to be wreaking havoc on a weak Mitch Trubisky. Definitely going to throw an interception, maybe a fumble here or there. A lot of sacks are going to come. A weak O-line for Pittsburgh. We saw it decimated by the Patriots last week, both on the offensive and defensive side. With the best running back tandem in the league, a strong O-line, and no quarterback and to spread the ball out, I think they hammer the rock all game, and Chubb and Hunt eat. Tough luck loss for the Browns last week. I think they bounced back here, grab that, and probably cover that spread. You were saying it was at 4.5. I'd probably buy it down to 4, but still, I like the Browns to cover it here in a divisional game.
I've seen too many AFC North games finish in a field goal to give them 4 points.
I do like that thought. I mean, I'm probably not going to lock that in on my card. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say that, but I'm liking the Browns a lot here. Liking some scoring props for those.
No, yeah, I'm not trying to talk you away from a pick, but I'm just saying, from my experience, I've seen too many games that even you look last week, the Ravens blowing that lead against the Dolphins. I know they're AFC East, but there's a reason that we play 4 quarters. It comes down to the end. A lot of these games come down to 3 points, and giving more than 3 points in the NFL is just tough nowadays, unless you're taking teams like the Bills and these teams with offenses that are just so explosive. I don't know if I can give Jacoby 4 points.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. I think the inefficiencies of the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially on a short week, like you said, without your best player and bell cow on defense, I know bell cow's a term for running backs, but without your leader on defense, I don't see them being able to generate much. That Browns O-line, they had a down year last year, but it's pretty stacked. And with those running backs and Stefanski,
they still have studs on both sides of the ball.
Both sides of the ball, they're going to control the line of scrimmage. I don't see the Steelers being able to generate much at all. I mean, the Patriots beat the Steelers last week, and the Patriots are a very weak team, and they controlled the whole clock and line of scrimmage. I think the Browns can do it much more efficiently.
Your attitude on the Pats has changed a lot in the last 2 weeks.
They're up and down. Young team. It's week by week, like Bill B says.
That's all the other Steelers are. We beat the fucking Bengals week 1. I was all high on them. Then we just lost to the fucking Patriots. Now I think we're going to lose the rest of the games of the season. We just lost to Mac Jones, dude.
Mac Jones, the lead.
Sad.
All-star quarterback Mac Jones.
Pro Bowl quarterback. And Nelson Aguilar, we'll get to it when we get there. You guys are stud.
We was catching them, unlike Aguilar.
Aguilar and the babies had to go over there and catch him. Yeah, no, he's not in Philly anymore. He must. Who was that? Witherspoon, Kilo Witherspoon, whoever it is on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it's a Kilo Witherspoon or something like that.
Not enough pass rush from that Steelers front without T.J. Watt to get home to Mac Daddy, and he dropped that one in there for Nelson Aguilar to pull a Randy Moss and take the ball right off of Witherspoon's helmet and waltz right in.
Good stuff there. Yeah, tough game by the Steelers against the Patriots last week, but this week I like Steelers plus 4.5. So let's move into our Sunday slate. 1 p.m. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the New England Patriots. Got the Ravens coming in as the favorite at minus 2.5. The money line at minus 146, and the over/under at 43.5. Patriots money line sitting at plus 124. The under is 15-6 in the Ravens' last 21 games on the road, as well as the Ravens are also 1-6 against the spread in their last week 3 games. Go ahead, Ace. What are you thinking about this one, buddy?
Yeah, just to go with your stats there. I'm a big stats guy too. So this one today, here's a wild one. The Patriots have been a home underdog 19 times under Bill Belichick, and they've gone 15-4 against the spread in those games. So it's definitely something to consider. we saw a very weak Patriots team play against the Ravens 2 years ago, I believe, the rain game with Cam Newton. And they came in as even bigger underdogs and won the game outright, controlled the whole game. I think you see the same type of thing from the Patriots this week. It's going to be very slow. It's going to be Siri thinks so too, but it's going to be very slow. It's going to be on the ground. Mac Jones is going to have to make stuff happen. I know that Ravens defense, we've been high on them all year. That's my Super Bowl pick. That secondary's been prone to give up some yards, and the Patriots receivers were eaten last week. So I'd like the Patriots at home to cover the spread. I don't know if they win the game outright, but with that many points being given to the Patriots in Gillette, you gotta love it for Bill B and the boys.
I like that. Mackey, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I basically just see an incom or not. I'm just gonna restart this. Holy shit! I see a not confident Ravens team going into a tough place to play in Gillette Stadium, and I think the Patriots can come out on top in this game.
I was kind of leaning the same way. I like the Patriots with the points. I'm not necessarily leaning that I'm locking this in immediately. I could switch to the Ravens, but I just think in a spot, like you said, the Ravens coming off a tough loss. That fourth quarter, Tua looked like he could do anything to that defense, and that's a damn good defense. I mean, I don't know if that's more of a praise to Tua or, you know what I mean, a downgrade of the Ravens defense, but like you said, coming in a tough spot, tough place to play in Gillette and Foxborough. Patriots coming off a win in Pittsburgh. They're sitting at 1-1 on the season. Both teams. I don't know. I just think Belichick plays his cards right against a quarterback like Lamar. Ace, I was going to allude to the point, like you said, when Lamar went up to New England 2 years ago in that rain game and lost. I don't know. I just think given the Patriots 3 points at home, I like that spot. I'm not necessarily locking it in. I don't love 2.5. I'd have to buy the half point, but Mackey, like you said, I think a lot of people are jumping at the bit to bet the Ravens here. Might be the right play, but this is one I'm going to have to be looking at up until Sunday around 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, good stuff. This is going to be a great game this week, along with a few others this week. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. The Bills coming in as the favorite this week at -6.5. The money line at -255 and the over-under at 52.5. Both these teams coming off some hot weeks last week. Dolphins coming back against the Ravens. People pretty hot on them now. The Dolphins are 10-1 straight up, 9-2 against the spread in their past 11 games. And the Bills are 7-1-1 against the spread in their last 9 divisional games. Pretty good one here. Curious to see what happens in this matchup. What do we think?
This is one of those ones, I don't know if I'm necessarily dying to get a pick in on this one. This is one of those ones you just kind of want to watch. Two kind of high-flying teams through the first 2 weeks of the season. Obviously, the Bills are the Bills, the Super Bowl favorite. You have this Dolphins team that a lot of people doubted coming into the season. I wasn't necessarily too high on them. You have guys like Tua and Tyreek Hill showing their connections, and Waddle still picking up right where he left off last season. Miami's looking to make some noise this season, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them come out here and cover that 6.5. I'd like to get it to 7, same situation by the half point, but it's tough to bet against Josh Allen and the Bills, so I could see this one really going either way. I don't know how you guys are leaning on this, if you're backing the Dolphins with the points or Bills with the points, but really either situation wouldn't surprise me, and that's kind of why me kind of leaning both ways. I don't know if I'm necessarily leaning one way on the spread per se. Mackey, how about you?
Yeah, I think 6.5 points here is a little crazy. I'm probably not going to bet against the Bills because I think that's a really stupid move, but I'm looking at the over-under here, 52.5, and we know the Bills can score points. They put up 73 points, 74 points in 2 games. Josh Allen's been at an MVP level. Stephon Diggs, that connection is just unreal right now. So we know that teams can put up points. The Dolphins, we've seen them pick apart an elite defense in the Baltimore Ravens, putting up 42 points last week. So I'm liking the over here. I think it's a quick game, a lot of downfield passes, a lot of touchdowns. So I think we see an over here.
I like that. That's a nice play. I like that.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. That's too many points in a divisional game. Over under tough to look at as well in a divisional game with the way that the pace of the game will go. Like Mackey said, though, you can't bet against the Buffalo Bills right now. They look like the best team in football. Josh Allen looks like the MVP. That being said, though, I am very high on any Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen receiving prop, passing prop, like I was last week. Definitely going to look at that with a weak Dolphins secondary. I have to think that Tua doesn't have any more rabbits to pull out of his hat. He was completely outmatched last week and pulled that one out of nowhere against the Dolphins. I'm against the Ravens. I'd more blame that on Baltimore's inability to close it out than Tua's ability to throw a slant for his boys to break.
I mean, dude, did you see that stat with him? He's like 8-1 against. I forget the stat. He's 8-1 against like Super Bowl winning quarterbacks or coaches or something.
Yeah, I believe it.
I forget this. It's like a.
Tua, not
it's
pretty,
not
but he
quarterback.
not pretty, but he wins games. A lot of prop totals this game though. I'm gonna like Diggs again. Gonna probably take Diggs anytime or Diggs receptions and yards. We'll see.
His stats have just been unreal. Like I don't know how you can't take his anytime.
Especially with the depleted receiving core. In no run game.
Now Gabe Davis is out.
No run game either.
He's still out next week.
I don't know. I don't know the status.
I bet you he
of him,
plays
yeah.
though. If he was questionable all week this week, he'll probably play. But with no run game in Buffalo, I mean, it's a pass first offense every play.
Could you imagine if they hit a good running back?
They thought so with James Cook, but I have yet to see it.
And no, he's not.
Their commitment to a run game is
right now, right?
Yeah, but James Cook has the abilities.
They have Zach Moss too.
Yeah, those guys are better right now, but James Cook is the ability to get to the next level. But their lack of a commitment to a run game, yeah, he's got that dog in him. He's got wheels. He's Dalvin Cook's brother. I mean, we saw his explosiveness in college, but yeah, no. If you don't run the ball more than 10 times a game, if one guy's not getting more than 6 to 8 carries, how are you going to know if you truly can run the ball? That's why I'm eager to see this team down the road in the playoffs or in New England, but we'll get to that when we get there.
That's why you can't take a Bills under either. It's that they throw the ball 90% of the time. And he's not throwing check down passes. He's throwing slants across the middle 15 yards every play. So,
yeah.
No, it's just insane what they're doing right now.
Yeah, it's fun to watch for sure.
Definitely.
That game was insane. It just gets so out of hand so quick. I was hoping for somewhat of a good game, and then it just was
no chance.
Them just airing the ball out. Like, I hate when primetime games get the blowouts like that. Sunday night was a blowout. Monday night was a blowout. Both of them. Like, I hate when the primetime games are blowouts. I like a fucking good game if everyone's watching.
Usually they do their best to keep it close.
Yeah, they try to write the script pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Sometimes it's too good.
Sometimes just a little too much, and
too much sauce. All right, next 1 o'clock game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. The Saints coming in as the favorite at -3, the money line at -156, and the over/under at 40.5. Both these teams coming off a loss last week. When is Baker Mayfield going to step it up here for the Panthers? What do we think?
This week, give me the Panthers +3.
Oh my god!
That's all I have to say about it. At home, I
don't like hate that.
I don't love it.
Going to suffer from this team.
I don't love it, but Mackey, last year we had the same thing with the Panthers, and we rode through it. And I don't know. In this situation, Jameis didn't show me anything good last week. Saints. They have some players, but last week against a good Bucs team, not being able to score too much, it's a good defense. But I don't know. I like the Panthers. I always like taking points in a divisional game. Give me the Panthers +3 at home.
They're due.
They are due.
They can cover. They don't have to win.
Last week, and they're saying they're due.
Yeah, they're due. I mean, the Giants suck. I mean, I don't know. They're not going to.
Giants are probably the worst 2-0 team of all time, to be honest.
Yeah, we've went over this, but yeah, Baker Mayfield is due. Hasn't been playing his best football of all time, but he's not playing bad. I don't know, but I'm definitely not putting him on my card this week. You know, I bet with the streak, so they've lost 2 in a row, so I'm going to stay away. But I think they are due, and they get their win, and once they do that, I'll put them back into my box of we'll take them. I do think they pull this one out at home against the Saints. Weak Saints team, lost a lot on defense. Alvin Kamara non-existent, not even playing. Jameis Winston is Jameis Winston, middle of the road, not going to win you the game, not going to lose you the game. So I think that Baker Mayfield this game means more to them. We haven't seen McCaffrey pop off either yet, so I'd like to see how CMC does this week.
I think the Saints win this game on the road. I think the Panthers have nothing really going for them. I was completely wrong about Baker Mayfield this year and how he would come out and play. He hasn't done anything special. He's the same old Baker. I don't know. There's nothing really going for them right now. McCaffrey's looked mid at most. I don't know. I think
they look like they're using him so conservatively. Like Matt Rule is just not using that team to their full potential. I think
he's not. He's definitely not used like he was in 2019.
No.
I don't know. Maybe it's because he's so injury prone and they don't want to have to go through what they've gone through for the past 4 years. So
yeah,
a lot of things.
He's got to open up the playbook for Baker. Just fucking air it out. Like you're 0-2. Just fucking throw the ball.
You don't want Baker airing the ball out, man. He's gonna.
I know, but like, what do they have to lose? They're the fucking Panthers.
For real.
I just think.
Get the ball in the hands of your best players. You don't got to be airing it out downfield. I'm saying feed your best player. Feed McCaffrey and
feed
DJ
McCaffrey
Moore
until he's back on the IR. Come on.
Yeah, you could say that, but they haven't figured that out yet. Clearly. Yeah, losses.
It's only week 3. If they're gonna turn around, maybe now's the time, right?
Yeah.
2 losses.
Not much time left.
Jacoby Brissett and Daniel Jones have beaten the Carolina Panthers. I think Jameis can get it done too.
I'm a Jameis fan, but he just didn't look good last week. He hasn't looked good yet.
That's a tough Bucs team. They've given up 6 points in 2 games.
The Bucs have the best defense in the league. One of them, top 5 for sure.
It's shown so far.
Alrighty, the next game up is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Indianapolis Colts. We got the Chiefs favored at -5.5, the money line at -260, and the over/under at 50.5. The Colts are on my do not bet list as of week 2. It was a good ride, but I'm on to bigger and better things. They got blown out last week. Chiefs slid past the Chargers. Kind of tight game there, tighter than I expected. I mean, I know the Chargers are a good team, but kind of expected Pat Mahomes to step on him a little more, but you got to think this is a massacre waiting to happen. But what do you guys think?
I think that's what I was thinking. It's almost they're begging, like, kind of the same thing with the Ravens line. Like, this is too good to be true.
5.5 is a crazy line for this game.
This is way too good to be true. Why are the Bills getting 6.5 against a 2-0 Dolphins team, and the Chiefs, same situation, are getting 5.5 going to Miami or going to fucking Indy?
It's because of Jonathan Taylor and the pedigree of that Colts team over the past few years. I mean, they have that stifling defense, and Matt Ryan's supposed to be good. I mean, I'm on the Chiefs.
Everyone's out for the Colts, though. Shaq Leonard's out. The whole team's out.
But the line I'm saying is just that way because people expect so much more from them.
I don't know, man. Colts have looked like one of the worst teams in the league. Matt Ryan literally looks like the worst quarterback.
Arguably the worst quarterback in the NFL right now.
And they're sitting here at the 5.5 point line against Pat Mahomes, who has looked like he did in 2018. This line makes zero sense. I genuinely think the Colts cover this game just because of this.
Yeah, line. I don't know why. For how much they're begging me to take the Chiefs here, I want to buy a half point and give the Colts 6. Like, I don't know why, but it makes no sense. Mackey, I'm right there with you. You're seeing what I'm seeing. This makes no sense. Like,
dude, I'm a big believer in like Vegas always wins, and this is a situation where it's like actually.
This is why. Yeah, this is the reason.
Honestly, it's making me think like reverse.
Let A say.
Like reverse psycho. Like what's that term?
Reverse psychology. Like, I don't know. I'm not.
Reverse osmosis. You're not gaining water, are you?
It looks so sketchy. It looks so sketchy that I think that it's so many people are going to take the Colts because it's so sketchy, and the Chiefs might even cover.
That's what I mean, dude.
Like,
it's so scary.
It could be that bad.
The Chiefs are going to win this game by 40, or the Colts cover.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to win by 40. Patrick Mahomes is having that replica MVP year and stuff like that. And like we said, Matt Ryan can't keep pace. A big name to keep watch of will be if Michael Pittman actually suits up. And if they're hoping to keep up in the arms race, they'll need him. Like you said, a depleted Colts defense. I think the Chiefs get this one. 5.5, weird line again. But the the Colts don't have enough star power or offensive firepower like the Chargers did last week to come and backdoor cover. So I'll take the Chiefs here. Didn't last week. Took the Chargers. Ended up losing tough.
Dude, everything you just said is what I'm thinking, and it's just that number is so weird. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. 5.5's a lot. Might have to tease that down, but I do like the Chiefs to win this game here.
It's
but
just weird.
I think
it
Patrick
makes no
Mahomes
sense.
Rolls. I think he rolls.
I do too. That's exactly what I'm saying. I just think it's the same situation as Lamar going to play the Patriots. Same reason I like the Patriots. I think a lot of people are going to be give me the Ravens off a loss here.
Yo, you
Like
tease
Chiefs
this?
are rolling.
You tease this 5
Yeah, you
points,
tease
you
this.
Get them outright.
Yeah. You'd get them at +1.5. You put them with another team. Literally.
So I know it's
Something to think
Wednesday
about
night
for
here as
sure.
we're recording, but FanDuel is reporting percent of the money is in favor of Kansas City at 94%, and percent of the bets, the spread bets, is at 93% in Kansas City's favor as well.
Yo, come on. Like
Tell me the Colts don't cover this game.
you can. I actually might take the Colts.
And we are announcing a 2-unit play for Michael Mackey, Colts money line.
Colts money line plus.
I'm just
Colts
kidding.
alternate
+5.5.
line -3.
-3.
They win by 2 because Rodrigo Blankenship isn't there to kick the extra
They
point.
caught him. Yeah, I was going to say they caught him.
Good stuff there. I think that's going to be an interesting game, as we're saying. You know, that spread is in such a weird spot, and the money's all over Kansas City. So I'm excited to see that one. Next one up, we got the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are favored in this one at -5.5. The money line set at -250, and the over/under at 53.5. Big fan of the Detroit Lions, but I'm scared to bet on them, as I am every year. What do we think, Mackey? You want to get us going on this one?
Yeah, this is two teams that I've been kind of impressed with. Vikings obviously had a really rough outing last week, but that's basic primetime Kirk Cousins. I think this is a game where Vikings definitely come out on top. I think they get off to a quick lead, maybe 21-3 at half, and Detroit comes storming back. They backdoor cover this game. So I do kind of like Detroit with the points in a divisional matchup, but I think the Vikings win this game outright.
Yeah, I'd like to. I was thinking same thing. Divisional game, give me the points. I'll take the Lions +6.
Yeah, I'm not. This is one of the games I'm more scared of this line than I am with the Chiefs line, but I like the Vikings to have a bounce back week here. It's not a primetime game, so Kirk's going to settle in just fine. I think that the Lions are riding high after that win last week, so I think that the Vikings come in. They have the better roster by far. They control the ball. They're going to put up points. Dalvin Cook will find the end zone. Justin Jefferson will bounce back. All will be well in Minnesota, and they'll be looking back on track to win that division. 6 points is a lot, though, so I'm not taking them at that, but I'll take a money line.
What's that money line at?
-250.
Yeah, that'll be in a
That's
parlay.
a nice booster, Ace. It's a nice booster.
Is it? Divisional game.
Oh, it won't be pretty, but I think that there's a bounce back week here. I think that the Lions keep up a little bit, but it's going to be a bounce back week for Minnesota.
You see that? You see the Lions are in the top 5 scoring teams so far through 2 weeks.
I did.
Yeah, take out the fourth quarters of both games, though, and let me see what they got.
I mean, you play 4 quarters.
You play 4. You can't just do that.
You can't just take that out.
I'm just saying though, like
Take
those are
out the fourth quarter of that Super Bowl against the Falcons. You lost the Super Bowl.
I
You
know,
lost
no,
28-3.
well, that's all right. Well, that's way different stakes. I'm talking about when the Eagles were up 35-14 in Week 1, and they backdoor covered so late. The game was never in jeopardy. I mean, take it as you want, but that's how I see it.
You're definitely right, but you do play 4 quarters, so.
It's like
Look at what the Cardinals did last week. Same situation.
It's like our point. It's like our point with the Dolphins coming back against the Ravens. I think it's more of the inability of the other teams to close than the ability of these teams. We saw it throughout the first 3 quarters. They're not like that. So I think against a better team like the Vikings with a good defense and a lot of an offense, I think they have enough to get through it, even if the Lions can put up points consistently.
Especially Eagles Week 1 playing against a team like the Lions who have proved absolutely nothing. So you're up 35-14. You're probably going to give up a lot. And
Dan Campbell has those boys fight until the end, so yeah, they'll stick in the game, but they're not going to win.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it makes sense.
Good stuff there. Our next game is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders. The Eagles are our favorite this week at -6.5. Their money line sitting at -295 in the over-under at 47.5. Eagles taking care of the Vikings in easy fashion last week. Commanders were unable to convert against the Lions. What do you guys think?
I absolutely love Commanders' money line. I think Carson Wentz at home, Commanders Nation. I think against his former team, I think he pops off in a divisional game. You're getting 6.5 points here. I think it's a crazy line. Eagles have proved a lot, don't get me wrong, but again, you're getting in a divisional game, and it's a lot different ball game. These teams know each other way too much, and there's a little private encounters with them, with Wentz and the Eagles. So I think he has a good game, and I think they find a way to win this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty tight game, divisional. The Commanders have looked good, but Mackey, how come you're changing your narrative all of a sudden? I mean, you guys have been all over the Eagles all year, right?
I think the Eagles are sick. I still think they go 4-2 in the division, and they lose one to the Commanders. And at home, yeah, it's a good situation for them to lose.
Yeah, I agree that Carson Wentz has looked like his old self of late, but let's take a moment and pump the brakes on the Commanders real quick. Who have they played in the last 2 weeks? They lost to a Lions team that the Eagles handled, obviously, throughout the game, like we just talked about with that late scoring. They handled them pretty well. And the week before, the Commanders squeaked by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it's like, and you can't be talking on the Jaguars saying they won 21-0 last week because they just played that Colts team inability. And like Carson Wentz, we're going back to the point with Matt Ryan. He was replaced by Matt Ryan. So how good is he in reality? I don't think the Eagles win by 6.5 points, but I think the Eagles win this game outright. They're definitely the leaders of that division. The Commanders are going to fall back down to earth after 2 competitive games to open the season.
I'm not defending Carson Wentz, but he left before Matt Ryan was a Colt. But that's not going to allude to my point. But I like the Commanders. Huh?
They didn't bring him back. They thought that Matt Ryan was a better option.
No. I know what you mean. He was a commander before Matt Ryan was a Colt, but I like the Commanders in this game. Divisional game, give me the 7 points. I'll take Commanders +7. I'll buy the half point.
Ace, let me just say that I wasn't alluding to the Commanders being a good team at all. I wasn't really looking at their last 2 games at all. I'm more looking at Carson Wentz against his former team in a divisional game at home. I think it's a good spot for them. I bet good teams,
revenge game.
Good teams lose to bad teams all the time. So, it's definitely a spot where it could happen.
I just think the Eagles are on such a good pace right now, rolling, coming high off that Monday night game. I mean, they're all locked and loaded right now. A.J. Brown's something to monitor, right? But that defensive front and the offensive firepower they have, both sides of the ball, the Commanders haven't been matched up with that yet this year. So Carson Wentz, you get some pressure on him with those locks of DBs in that secondary. We just saw them shut down Justin Jefferson. I'm eager to see how they fare against Scary Terry and crew. But I'll take the Eagles here for sure.
With the points?
Not with the points.
Parlay booster.
He's taking all these 295 money lines.
Yeah, no, we've seen this before. I mean, it's not going to be like on my card expected, but I'm just saying it's like that Chiefs game last week with the Chargers. Too much of points to bet on either side. I should say.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Fair.
6.5 is so much in a divisional game.
Yeah, that's a crazy line. I'm surprised they're giving them that much respect. But after they shut down the Vikings like they did in the weak competition that Washington's faced, I mean, I still like the Eagles to win this game. I don't think Carson Wentz does much against that
I think I like the Eagles to win this game. I think it's a 4-point game, somewhere in there, 6 maybe.
I can't imagine how they're going to move the ball, though. That Vikings offense was so stagnant against the Eagles last week, and I feel like they're so much better than
they are. It is a better offense. It's primetime Kirk Cousins. Commanders are at home here. Yeah. Like Mackey said, I'm seeing his thing, the revenge game. That can go both ways. This game isn't in Philly, so I think Carson Wentz could start out on a nice little roll here, get some points to start the game out. Anytime you're taking a +7 bet and your team scores first, we've seen. I mean, like I said, we play 4 quarters for a reason, but it makes you feeling good off the bat. So I'll take the Commanders +7.
I think I'm with that. I don't really like the Eagles too much. Give me the Commanders. All right, next up, one of the 1 o'clock games is the Las Vegas Raiders at the Tennessee Titans. We got the Raiders favored at -1.5. The money line at -124 and the over-under at 45.5. The Titans money line sitting at plus 106. Nothing good to say about the Titans. Raiders taking the Cardinals to overtime last week.
Cardinals taking the Raiders to overtime last week.
Yes, correct.
Raiders had to lead the whole game. Give me the Raiders here in a bounce back. Raiders money line.
Agreed 100%. I mean, I've talked up the Raiders all year. They have so much on offense. Josh McDaniels is dying for that win. He just brought in some offensive help. He brought another former Patriot back to his team, traded for Justin Herron today to shore up that O-line a little bit. But that Tennessee team has looked so bad. They played so poorly. I think they get trounced again here.
How do you feel about this over-under, 45.5?
I don't see how the you know what I see, actually? I see Malik Willis's time coming very soon, which means that the Titans aren't scoring very many points. That's a scary line, but I'll take the Raiders.
Yeah, I definitely like the Raiders as well. I think this Titans team is very bad. Derrick Henry has looked awful. Nothing like he has in the past few years. I don't know if that's the injury or just, picking up on how Derrick Henry plays and just what they're doing with him. But this Raiders team is good, and they're off to a rough start. So I think this is a nice bounce back win for them. I think it's an easier win for them. I think they win by 7+. And, I think they have a good game. I think Titans are pretty bad, pretty poverty.
Yeah, I agree, but I do think this is a good spot for a bounce back from Derrick Henry. Weak defense on the Raiders side of the ball. I do think the Raiders cover the spread and beat them handedly, but this could be a big bounce back week for Derrick Henry. He's going to be running mad against a weak defensive.
That's why I was looking at that over-under. I think the Titans put up their points, but I think the Raiders win.
I don't think they do it the right way. I think it's only Derrick Henry, but I don't think Tannehill does much here. I think it's Malik Willis time.
I don't know, dude. Derrick Henry has not looked like himself.
They've shown they're not scared to go to Burks early either.
Yeah,
he's basically
Burks.
their wide receiver one.
I like Burks.
I'm not saying that's a good thing.
They said that coming in, though. They want to give him the volume. They drafted him as A.J. Brown's replacement.
Yeah.
Good stuff there. Let's jump into our next one, the Houston Texans at the Chicago Bears. The Bears is our favorite at -2.5. Their money line at -138, and the over-under at 40.5. Both these teams losing last week. Who will take the W this week?
Who did the Texans play last week again?
Denver.
The Broncos, they played them tight.
Oh, played them tight.
Broncos country, let's suck.
I think that says a lot more about the Broncos than it does about Houston. But I definitely like Houston here. I think it's a battle of two shit teams, and I think the Houston's the better of the two. In my opinion. I think Davis Mills is actually a better quarterback than a lot of people seem to think. Justin Hurts is good as well, or Justin Fields. Justin Fields is good as well, but I just think that Bears team is just really, really bad around him, and he can't really do much. He has an awful O-line and no time to run around in the pocket or really do anything. So I think the Texans win this game.
Yeah, I like that Mackey too. I definitely agree, but I'm going to do what most people do on Sunday and stay away from this game. Nobody's going to watch it. I'm not going to take anything on it. I mean, we've seen Soldier Field kind of be a backbone to the Bears, so playing at home is something nice. But two very unproven teams that have fought hard, but we don't really know what to expect from them. We don't know what's going on either side of the ball. The coaches really don't know either. Young quarterbacks facing off against each other are going to be something I'm staying away from. Maybe the under, if anything, but.
I was just gonna say, if I'm I'm kind of sitting in the same seat as you with that opinion. Tough spread, 2.5. Home team gets a field goal. It's kind of what you expect in most NFL games between two kind of even teams. The over/under is 40.5. I'm right there with you. I'm leaning. If anything, I like the under. Any game in Chicago, it's obviously going to come down to what the weather is. If we have another monsoon like we had week one, not saying you have the same thing, but Bears play in rain very often. Kind of teams like Seattle and. That comes up with the home field advantage that you talked about and with Soldier Field and them being home here. Texans coming off 2 straight covers, I believe. Yeah, Colts, they tied. They got the 7.5, and then last week against the Broncos covering. I think, whichever team wins, give them the 2.5, but I like the under here, 40.5.
I do think my Texans get to 1-1-1. This is the week that they get that win and start putting it together.
Yeah.
But Not throwing it on
I
a
could-
card or anything, but yeah, under and Texans.
I'd definitely be leaning Texans, Mackey. I'm right there with you. I'm with both you on leaning
I'm not.
Texans, but I like the no points or the
I'm not-
under.
I'm not betting it either. I was just doing it for the sake of the podcast.
No, yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. That's kind of how I roll.
Roll Davis Mills. That long neck
I
of
like
his is going to
Davis
get him their
Mills.
first
I
win.
like him.
Yeah, he's good.
I think he's actually pretty good.
He would be Mac Jones if we didn't get Mac Jones.
Anybody can do what Mac Jones is doing.
Oh yeah, I don't see
Seriously.
you doing it.
Well, I'm not an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I
Give
thought.
him,
Mac
give the
Jones
kid his
is.
chance.
Mac Jones is in the Pro Bowl. How many people can say that? Carry on next game.
Mitch Trubisky can.
A good amount of people can say that.
And- Oh yeah, Mackey.
In the NFL, that I played in the NFL, you can't rule out, or you can't bring me and you into play in this.
Mitch
No,
Trubisky
no,
was a
a
Pro
lot of-
Bowler.
lot
Don't
of-
forget that.
A lot of big quarterbacks don't make the Pro Bowl. I'm saying. So it's
Yeah,
it's
Mitch
good to see.
Trubisky did. No big deal.
MVP.
Trubisky did, yeah.
MVP. All right, let's get to the next one.
Mac
Son.
Jones' time will come for that award.
Let's get this last 1 o'clock game rolling. The Cincinnati Bengals at the New York Jets. Mackey's New York Jets. The Cincinnati Bengals are favored at -5.5. The money line at -235.
Every
and
New
the
York
over
team
under
is
at
Mackey's
45.5. Yes, Mackey is our New York representative.
Not my team, but I'll claim him.
Mackey's affiliated with all 8 New York City teams.
Come on, after that win that last week, I'll claim the New York Jets.
Take
right
off
now.
the Red
Derek-
Sox hat.
Nah, this is too fresh to take off. But Red Sox are pretty poverty this year too. But Jets +5 at home against a struggling Bengals team. I don't know. I mean, what's that face for, Ace? What do you got to say? You think they're
This
not
guy's
struggling
on
or something?
crack. When you disconnect, I was
Dude.
telling you to stay off the weed. Bengals get back on track here. Joe Burr gets going. They beat them by an alternate spread of 12.5. Give me the Bengals -5 every day.
Yeah, well, I actually beg to differ in this game. I think this is a new Jets team. I think Garrett Wilson is playing out of his mind right now, coming back in that game after getting injured. And
New Jets,
+5
same
points.
Joe Flacco.
+5 points in MetLife. I don't know. Give me the Jets +5, maybe even outright. Bengals start 0-3. Joe Burr is over with
The
For
I'll
the
take the
season.
Bengals.
for the season. anyways.
Jets suck. Yeah, the Bengals -5 is a lot.
Okay, so is the Panthers.
Hey, bet that Jets +5. Let me see it on your card.
I'll
I'll take Bengals. I'll take
might
Bengals.
see it.
All right, let's do it right now. Bengals -5 is going to be on my card.
No,
what are you
I'm
doing?
over here +5.5 units. I can't just be throwing out plays.
Yeah,
like
you don't
that
want
on
to
my
throw a
card.
losing bet on your card, do you?
Well, listen, I gotta look into it a little more. I can't just.
I'm
be,
with the Bengals. I always have to look at the injuries leading up to it. I think this game you could see this get. I don't know which way this line's going to move. Jets at home. I don't think you see them getting 6 points, but if this drops to an even 5, I love the Bengals. I love them from 5.5, like you said, Ace. I think they win this game by 10 or more. I think the offense gets back on track. Tough loss last week in Dallas. Give me the Bengals -5.5.
Put
Yo,
it on
Jesse,
the card,
go-
Mackey. Put it on the card.
Jesse, go check the percentage of bets on that one.
Oh, it's going to be crazy. But that happened with the Ravens and Jets week 1, and we still team carded that, and it was a lot.
90 to 10. Get the fuck out of here. Excuse my language.
Pull
90
up,
to 10.
Pull up Ravens Jets week 1, and we were all over that as a team.
Happened. I can't.
Yeah, and that was a higher
okay.
spread. That was
But
a higher
90% of the time, Vegas wins. So it didn't happen week 1.
I'm
it's
just
gonna
telling
happen week 3.
I'm just telling you that the Bengals are winning by
Listen,
5.
you guys call me crazy for taking the Giants week 1. You guys call me crazy for taking the Jets now. So let's
You guys
see.
a homer.
you-
Go Jets.
You are
huh?
a New York representative. I mean,
Yeah, bro. I feel it. You know what? It's just in me. I feel it in me, and I feel when New York teams are gonna win.
Mackey
Yeah,
has the
really,
Empire
and the
State
Jets-
of Mind. Give him the
He
Jets
feels it in
+5.
me. He sounds like any girl with Antonio Cromartie.
Don't gotta make it like that.
Well, it's your Jets for you. Bengals -5. Lock it in. Huff's on the train. I think Jesse probably will be too. Get Jets.
I think you
+5
could see a
on Mackey's
you
card.
could see a Flacco butt fumble in this game.
Yeah, that would be the highlight
Come on,
of
that's
the
a
day for
once
him.
in a lifetime thing you see. You'll never see that again in your life.
No,
All right,
I'm not.
Mackey's
I'm not.
offended.
I hate
Mackey's offended.
to downplay
Oh,
the
dude,
Jets as
listen,
much
I
as
hate
I
the
am,
Jets.
but
I don't like the Jets. You can shit on them all day. I don't give a fuck. But
No, that's not why I'm trying to downplay them. I think they're a better team than I'm making it seem. And Flacco's getting the job done last week with like you said, ace. So you say you thought it was more the Ravens giving up the game to the Dolphins. How do you think that game went with the Jets coming back against the Browns? Do you think that's more of a slight to the Browns defense or more of a praise to this Jets offense?
It's an onside kick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with Mackey. It's an onside kick. Onside kick is a stolen game.
Lucky bounce, yeah. So I'll take the Bengals.
Yeah, but for that Jets team to score 2 touchdowns in the last minute and a half, regardless of the onside kick, it's pretty bad.
You still got to convert.
Yeah, dude. Joe Flacco looked like prime Joe Flacco out there. Super Bowl quarterback.
Yeah, Joe Flacco is elite. Don't let it go by the wayside. But yeah, Bengals swap him this week.
Joe Burrow is off Instagram and Twitter because he said he's ready to bounce back. So give me the
0 dark 30 like LeBron James. Lock in there, Joe Burrow.
Those fumes in East Rutherford are pretty bad. I don't know. Maybe getting no Joey.
He just needs to wear the fucking Cartier shades and the fur jacket into the game and he'll win.
Mackey, are we gonna see a New York parlay from you?
No, the Giants lose this week.
Okay.
Play against my boys. Cooper Rush and my boys.
Yeehaw.
Coming off a win against Joey Burr.
Cooper Rush.
Jesus. All right, let's jump into these 4 o'clock games. First up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars going all the way over to LA to visit the Chargers. We got the Chargers favored at an even -7. Their money line at -300 and the over/under at 47.5. Jags have momentum this week after a big win. Chargers not able to make it past Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs last week. What do we think is going to happen? Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars.
Chargers roll them here.
Scary game here, though. You need to make sure Justin Herbert's good to go, right?
Yeah, I forgot that. I forgot the injury. Thank you for saying that.
You're going to have to wait. Any play on this, you're going to have to wait until Saturday night, Sunday morning to check in on that Chargers injury report. If he's good to go or even at 75% or better, I like the Chargers here. But if you get Trevor Lawrence against a backup or a downtrodden Justin Herbert, I mean, he balled out last week, but that defense is so good. I'm liking the Chargers here, but no Justin Herbert.
I mean, you gotta try to find the news to see if Herbert could be looking to get an injection right before the game on Sunday, and we know how that's gone with the Chargers in the past. So, could lead to maybe more than a one game out for Herbert. Mackey, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Trevor Lawrence score the ball this year pretty well and efficiently, but he hasn't really played any prolific defenses yet, and they have one over at the Chargers. So, I don't know. I think this is a slow game to start off. I think Justin Herbert's injury comes into play for a little. I think he'll play this game. He's playing, right?
I think he's playing. That's a reason. It's probably a 7-point.
Yeah, but even if he's playing, you saw him wincing. He was banged up.
You saw him throw that 40-yard dot on fourth down.
Dog. He's got that dog in him. I agree, but just something to be wary of.
No, I think it's a close game for the most part, and I think Chargers pull away within the third quarter. It's one of those basic 4 o'clock games that start pretty slow. And,
you think Eckler comes back this week and finally gets back to his top 5 running back status or no?
I think it's bound to happen. I don't know if this is a good situation for him to be in against that Jacksonville defense. It's obviously not a strong one. His threat in the pass game is obviously a huge factor in this one, so I think he could definitely have a good game this week and show what he was supposed to be this year.
I'm right there with you. I totally forgot all the news with Herbert, and that's kind of a slight to my own knowledge. But I'll be waiting up until Sunday. I think you'll see a lot of line movement on this one with a lot of the injury news going on with the Chargers. So we'll have to wait and see. Long flight from Jacksonville to LA, big stadium. Lights are bright, even though it's Sunday 4 o'clock. So. Like you said, Jags coming off a big win. We'll have to see if they can keep that momentum rolling against a tough team with the Chargers. So if they have Herbert, I like them to win by 10+.
Young star quarterback going to LA for the weekend. You never know what he's doing on a Saturday night.
True.
Pretty boy Trevor Lawrence. He's been married since he was like 17, dude. He's not doing anything.
Is he still with that girl?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
He married her like his freshman year at Clemson. At least it seemed like. It seemed like he was at
loser.
Clemson for 7 years, didn't it? Or is that just me?
I don't know.
I felt like he was a Clemson.
no,
I felt like he was the Clemson quarterback as long as Tebow was at Florida, like 5 years.
Deshaun Watson was there in like 20.
Yeah, they did have the Watson, and then
Trevor
there was someone
Lawrence
else
was
in
just
there.
good every year he was there.
Yeah, so he was relevant. That's why I feel like, you know what I mean? He felt like he was there every year.
He only had one natty though, I think.
Yeah. He lost to Bama on the one. Bama wins every other year, dude.
Yep. Except not this year. Georgia's going back to back.
Yeah, Georgia's going back to back. I like to say it. I like Georgia, so.
Alrighty, let's move up to the Seattle with the Atlanta Falcons at the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks coming in at the favorite is at -1.5. The money line at -126 and the over-under at 41.5. Falcons kept up with the Rams last week. Can't say the same about the Seahawks against the 49ers. What do you guys think?
This is a snooze fest. This might be the worst game of the week.
Agreed.
This is our dud of the week, I think.
I don't think so at all. I think Jimmy G's playing for that contract money. He's going to get it done again. Easily.
Jimmy G.
We're talking about the Falcons
game.
and Seahawks.
Wrong game, boss.
Thought you said Niners. 2 out west teams.
No,
Okay.
he said Seahawks coming off a loss against the Niners.
Okay, all right, my bad.
We're talking Falcons, Seahawks. Seahawks a 1.5 point favorite, -126 money line. Falcons +102, over under 41.5. Now that you know what game we're talking about.
Now that I know what game you're talking about, I wish we weren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Snooze fest.
Snooze
That's what
fest.
we're
This is
saying.
this is officially not the hit the books game of the week.
I do
Wah,
I
wah.
think. I think the Falcons win this game. I think Marcus Mariota gets a win here.
Drake London looked really good last week.
He did. I have him on my fantasy bench, and I've been tempted. I was tempted to put him in last week, and I went with Amari Cooper over him, which ended up being another good decision. But
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He's
yeah,
a
he had
target
he had
hog. Drake London, target
exactly.
hog.
Both of them are right now. Cooper is like
Yeah,
the stud
yeah.
in Cleveland. Like I said, I think Drake London actually had 24 points in my league, and Cooper had 26, or vice versa. So
Yeah.
either one, it was like couldn't, you know what I mean? I can't start both guys. I forget who
seems-
I had in my flex.
Seems
My
to be
team,
Drake
my one
London's,
team is loaded, but yeah, Drake London for the Falcons seems like he's the new guy there. They're kind of fading away from Pitts, getting 3 targets. Did you hear what Arthur Smith said after the game? This
Yeah.
isn't fantasy football. We're not looking to give him the ball every play. It's like kind of the same thing with the Panthers. You need to get the ball to your best player.
Yeah, I think we see a squeaky wheel treatment here.
I don't know. I think Pitts is a little overrated. I think second.
I
year
think
in a
he
row
is
that
too.
What does he do? What Ace? Explain to me what he has done that's been even a little remotely better than the average.
Played with Marcus Mariota and Matt Ryan.
Okay. Well, what about Michael Pitt? What about Michael Pittman putting up 160 yards in his first game with Matt Ryan?
Yeah, he's a wide receiver, but we're going back to the tight end thing here. Like, there's no other tight ends in the league with his talent. He's going to put together sooner
Disagree.
rather than later. He's going to put together a weak tight end class, especially this year. He's going to put it together sooner rather than later. But I am also discouraged by the production he's seen so far. I'm going to put that more on the staff and his quarterback situation. But I think it's a squeaky wheel treatment here.
I'll take a guy like Freiermuth.
I would
Sure-handed tight end.
actually take Freiermuth over Kyle Pitts right now.
Oh, literally no. I hope whoever's listening to this can pin this and remember this because
I'm talking about fantasy. I'm not talking about like actual skill wise.
Oh, I'm not taking him in fantasy either. Kyle Pitts is going to bounce
100%,
back. Don't worry. I think it is going to be this week.
I disagree. I think he has.
Kyle Pitts is too good to play.
Dude, if he doesn't turn shit around soon, and like, what are they going to do? Are they going to trade him? If he doesn't do something with another team, he could go down as one of the biggest bust tight ends of all time.
No, I don't think it's like that. He played with Matt Ryan, who you said is arguably the worst QB in the league, and now he has a backup quarterback.
Bro, there's been so many good players that have played with shitty tight ends or shitty quarterbacks and have
gotten the job done.
excelled.
Name 5 tight ends that have done that.
I could name.
Who was
George
Tony
Kittle right
Gonzalez
now.
as quarterback?
He had Matt Ryan in his prime for a little bit.
Who was Tony Gonzalez as quarterback before the Falcons?
George Kittle, Jordan Reed, Darren Waller, kinda. I don't think Derek Carr is.
Yeah,
that
Darren
elite.
Waller.
Jimmy
Mark
Garoppolo,
Andrews is
Derek
getting the job
Carr
done
are
with a
light
running
years-
back.
Okay.
What are you're not going to say
Marcus
Jimmy Garoppolo is
Mariota.
like
Marcus
you're not gonna
Mariota
say
is the quarterback.
Matt
He's a backup
Ryan.
quarterback.
Okay, Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota is
Jimmy-
terrible. Yes,
Johnny
Jimmy
Smith
Garoppolo's
had a better season.
Been to a Super
with
Bowl.
Marcus
He's
Mariota.
been to the Super Bowl and an NFC Championship. Jimmy Garoppolo wins. Marcus Mariota is terrible. Kyle Pitts is going to bounce back. Pin the clip this, whatever it is. Freiermuth better than
Clip
Kyle
it,
Pitts.
please.
You're crazy.
Fantasy-wise, I said fantasy-wise. I backed it up.
Yeah, fantasy-wise, 2 duds from
I didn't.
Pitts
I'll take
isn't
him.
gonna
Fuck Kyle
discard.
Pitts.
Wow, crazy.
He's a Falcon. He's a bust.
I don't know. I think it's the team around him. He draws double coverage on every play.
You're gonna see.
I don't think he's actually a bust. I'm just fucking like making conversation here, but I mean, it's a situational thing, like you said. Marcus Mariota's a running quarterback. It's a style thing, and even if they go to Ritter, like it's not guaranteed. Like you look at these stats, 3 targets on a Sunday. Like he's got to get his looks, and like he hasn't gotten the chance. But 1 touchdown last year. Come on, bro.
Yeah,
like they got to get him his touches.
He was on and off the field. Yeah, I agree with you. They have to get him the ball. And that, like that coach said, you said it best at the beginning. It's like McCaffrey, feed your best players the ball. I mean, come on, Marcus Mariota is fucking terrible. But
Steelers are just such a heavy usage of their tight end team. They're one of those teams that it's run the ball and then throw the ball to your tight end. So it's just like Freiermuth has gotten his touches and obviously touchdowns over the past year and a half. I think he already has one this year. I could be wrong. No, I am wrong on that. He does not have one, but he had, I think, maybe like 7 last year. I don't want to quote myself on that, but he had his touches last year. And I mean, he was Ben's security blanket most of the year, and that's why.
No, I like Freiermuth. Don't get me wrong. I like him a lot. He's one of the better young tight ends.
I didn't mean to straight up compare him to Kyle Pitts because, like, athleticism-wise, Kyle Pitts is a unicorn. Like, you've heard that phrase before on ESPN on all these platforms.
He's a wide
Kyle
receiver.
Pitts is a stud. Yeah, he's a wide receiver playing tight end.
I'd also say Kyle Pitts is not the best player on the Falcons. I think Cordell Patterson is.
I like Drake London.
You don't think Cordell Patterson?
I think what's his name on defense? AJ Terrell is the best.
No,
player.
we're talking on offense.
You say give Christian McCaffrey. You give the ball to your best player, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were just talking best player.
I'd feed Pitts in London all game if it were me.
And I'm with Mackey. I like Patterson. Like, they don't have a terrible fucking team. Just give the ball to Ritter. Like, Mariota is not your answer.
Yeah, Mariota's fucking bad.
I don't know why them and the Steelers are rolling with quarterbacks that have shown that they can't get the job done. Just go with the rookie quarterback.
They don't want to.
You don't want to throw. You don't want to throw him right out to the bait. Like, it's kind of like you still want to let him get the game reps. Like, in situations like we saw Malik Willis come in like that, those are valuable reps for a young quarterback to come in a game like that. Like, I know the scoreboard doesn't show it, but like that's way different football than preseason.
Yeah, definitely, but you're never going to adjust to it until you're.
No, I know what you mean. I think the Steelers are looking to pick it. I mean, you heard the chance. Same thing with Tennessee. You heard the chance.
Trubisky's literally done nothing 2 games straight, and he has a 1-1 record. You have a team that can actually maybe do something in this division if Pickett is what they want him to be.
Trubisky has a little bit of an excuse now. Not saying he does. The offense still needs to pick things up, but like for the record-wise, we're all saying Steelers without T.J. Watt, Steelers without T.J. Watt, Steelers without T.J. Watt. I mean, they're 1-0 with him, 1-0. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing. So I think a lot of the things are going to be pointed at the offense with Trubisky. I mean, I'm obviously advocating for Pickett, but I wouldn't mind if Trubisky can get us to like 3-3 and then bring Pickett in. That'd be perfect.
Blank slate, get him going.
We play the Jets next week and the Browns this week. I like us to go 1-1 over the next 2 weeks again.
I don't think you guys see a situation where Trubisky's 6 games in and a 500 record and you take him out. I don't think that makes any sense. I think the point of it would
have to be the defense still win it. The defense is clearly winning the games and the offense is just squeaking by. And in those losses, the offense needs to look bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough to get 3 wins out of that. I mean, who do you have coming up?
Browns this week on Thursday night, and then we got the Jets at home next week. I think we go 1-1.
I don't know.
I think that's fair.
It's close. You can win both those games and then lose.
That's what I'm saying. We could either win both, or I think we go 1-1. I don't think we lose 2 straight at home. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose this week in Cleveland, but I like us to cover. What game did we just loop off? Was that the Falcons game?
Yeah, those are Falcons and the Seahawks. So we're going to move forward to the Green Bay Packers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is going to be a really good one this week with the Buccaneers favored at -1.5. Their money line sitting at -116. Packers money line at -102. And the over-under sitting kind of low at 41.5. Again, I think it's going to be a great game with both teams securing a win last week. Mike Evans getting suspended, as I figure we'll get into. The Bucs are 2-11 straight up in their last 13 games played in Week 3. The Packers are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games when playing as the underdog. But the Bucs are 11-3 against the spread in their last 14 games at home. Mackey, get us rolling on this one, buddy. What do you think?
First of all, definitely game of the week. I think you got 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league in this game. I think
Is this our first hit the books game of the week?
I don't know.
Whoop, whoop.
We can.
This can. I mean, this is that. Like I agree. This is definitely the one that everyone's going to want to watch.
Dun, 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 dun.
That or the Bills and Dolphins. So pick your poison.
Brady Rodgers. Ooh.
I think Aaron Rodgers is really frustrated this week, especially against that Tampa Bay defense. We've seen how good that Tampa Bay defense could be, and we've seen Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it was week 1. We saw it last year too, and him bounce back with that season that he had last year. But we saw it week 1 with him and his young receivers and having trouble with them running their routes and catching their balls. And I know he had Alan Lazard back last week, but he didn't really do much. He had 2 catches for 13 yards, found the end zone, but still wasn't really useful out there on the field. So I think he's definitely going to be frustrated with this Bucs defense all game. I think it's a low-scoring game. I think the Bucs start off 3-0, and I think they get a win here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'll take Tom Brady at home. The defenses look legit for Tampa Bay. Getting Tampa Bay at -116 money line, I love that. 1.5 point spread. Just save the freaky weird 1 point win just in case. I'll take the Bucs money line.
Another great game for the Bucs here. Another great line. 3 weeks in a row we've seen them under 3 points favorited. I know that they're missing all the receivers. No Mike Evans, no security blanket. But I believe in that defense so much, and Tom Brady's one of the best game managers we've seen of all time. Arguably, he is the best of all time at it. So he'll make do with what he's got. He'll find his way to get into the end zone too. They signed Cole Beasley. I don't even know if he's playing this week, but if he's elevated off the practice squad, look at him to have a good chunk after he's frustrated by the young receivers' inability to hold on to some passes last week. But that Packers defense is no joke either, and Aaron Rodgers can get his boys going. So it'll be a tight one down the stretch. But give me the Bucs here too. Tom Brady reigns superior over Aaron Rodgers. That Bucs defense, though, no joke. Lovie Smith, right, coach there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a defensive mastermind, and the talent on that side of the ball. I feel like they're not going to be able to move the ball very much at all. So, yeah, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, let's go.
Yeah, Bucs money line.
Bucs money line, game of the week here.
Funny that we're talking about a Brady team so heavily with the defense carrying him here. Like, he's still playing pretty well, but that defense is so good.
They're taking care of him.
Definitely game of the week for sure, though. What a matchup early on.
Very excited for that one. It's going to be great. Let's move forward here to our last 4 o'clock game, the Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams coming in as the favorite at -3.5. The money line sitting at -188, and the over/under sitting at 48.5. Both these teams getting wins last week. I think it's going to be a good matchup. Do we see some powerful offenses coming at each other? Lots of points in this game. The over/under again at 48.5. What do you guys think?
Yeah, divisional game. Cardinals coming off a tough or a kind of really good win last week, late in the fourth quarter, coming off with their fourth quarter push against the Raiders in Vegas. I'll take the Cardinals with the points here. 3.5. Anytime I get more than a field goal in a divisional game, I like it. I'll take the Cardinals plus the points. That's going to be one I'm looking up to till Sunday with the divisional line. Think you could be getting maybe Cardinals +4. You could be seeing that maybe, but yeah, Rams haven't really shown too much. Good game last week. The offense got back on track, but the defense giving up the late push by the Atlanta Falcons on their home field. Rams coming to Arizona. Give me the Cardinals +4.
Yeah, Huff, going to be a great one. Like you said, Rams coming off of a good game last week. It was nice to see Matt Stafford put that stuff together after a Super Bowl campaign, kind of put that arm injury talks behind him a little bit. Arizona Cardinals, we know what they can do. They're a big play waiting to happen. Kyler Murray got that contract because he is him. He showed that last week. Kingsbury at home, divisional game. My favorite bet of the week is definitely going to be the over 48.5 here. I think these are two prolific offenses. I think they can put up a lot of points on both sides of the ball. You're going to see a shootout down to the wire, maybe another overtime game here. But, yeah, don't know who comes out on top here. Stafford looked pretty good last week. I need some more tape on him against a better team to tell. But, yeah, I like the over here.
I like that over as well. I love that over in Vegas. That was one of my plays I took off the card, ended up cashing on. But, I like the Cardinals with the points here at home.
I'm kind of leaning the opposite way here. I kind of like the Rams. I think, I mean, you could say that was a close game last week, but at the end of the day, they had complete control of the entire game and didn't really have any threat of losing that game. Came down, they obviously covered the spread at the end of the game, but that doesn't really matter. Matt Stafford looked elite. They just looked like they were back to championship pedigree, and I think Cardinals aren't really there. They had a BS win last week. They definitely shouldn't have won that game. Raiders absolutely blew it. They should be looking at 0-2 right now coming into this game, and they are home. It's a divisional game, so I'm leaning a little bit on the under. I know it's two powerhouse offenses, but both these teams can slow the ball or slow the game down as well. So we could see a slower game here. I think 3.5 probably not going to touch it because of how it's like how much divisional games come down to a field goal at the last second. But I like the Rams here. I think they win this game.
Yeah, the Rams did look a lot better last week. I think Cooper Kupp eats in a shootout here. But I'm just taking the over here. Mac, yeah, I like your points. Huff, I like yours too. Both sides could go either way. Depends on what team shows up, really. I think both teams have showed a Jekyll and Hyde type of season so far. So, I don't know. Divisional game. I'd like to look at some more of the history between these two teams. But I'm taking the over here. Shootout for sure.
I got a question for both of you. If Cardinals lost that game in overtime last week, were you saying the same thing here, or you just...
No, that's why I can't pick one. Like I've said, I haven't seen enough consistency from either team. The Rams look terrible week 1. They look solid week 2 with a terrible ending. I know, like we said, the fourth quarter is like it's where the covers happen. But Cardinals shown signs of greatness and being terrible. So, like I said, I'm just gonna take the points here. I think there's a lot of points from both sides, but eager to see who comes out on top here.
Mackey, to your point, I think I would be. I don't know if we'd be getting a similar line. I think you'd actually be getting more points for the Cardinals. So my logic stays the same. Divisional games, I think I've liked every single underdog with the points, so I'm going to roll with it. Give me the Cardinals.
Word. I was just interested. I wasn't like calling you guys out on your
No. Yeah, I actually was looking at that while Ace was talking. I think I said I think I took every single underdog in like a divisional matchup. I think I just said give me every underdog with the points.
Yeah. Good tactic.
Good stuff there. Yeah, let's jump into our Sunday primetime game. The San Francisco 49ers at the Denver Broncos. The 49ers are getting 1.5 points in this game. The money line sitting at -124. Broncos money line at +106. And the over-under for this matchup at 44.5. Broncos scoring just 16 points last week, but it got them the win, and the 49ers defense was solid as well. The under is 11-3 in Denver's last 14 games played in September, as well as the under is 9-2 in the 49ers' last 11 games. So do you like the under here sitting at 44.5? What do you guys think? Mackey, you want to start us with this one?
Yeah, he's talking about it, the Jimmy incentive, making a $350,000 bonus for winning a football game. So that's definitely something to think about here. I kind of like the Niners here. I think the Broncos have looked really bad all season, or I guess you could say all season. It's been 2 games. Russell Wilson has not looked like himself. I think he's still trying to find his way in that offense, and they're trying to figure it out together. No one's really picking up on anything. Jerry Jeudy left that game early last week. I'm not sure his status right now, but that could be a big out for the Broncos. But I think the Niners defense showed out last week, and they proved who they were. You got Jimmy G coming in, who has a lot to play for. So I think he's obviously been in big time situations before. So he's no nerves coming into this game. I think they win this game outright in Denver.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And just a little bit of a stat for you through the first 2 weeks. Sunday night, kind of the opposite of last season, Mackey. For the first 2 weeks, Sunday night favorites are 2-0, and road teams both were the favorite, both 2-0. So 49ers fit both of those categories, being the road team and the favorite here. So I'm going to roll. Give me the 49ers. I'll take the money line -124. Might end up taking the spread. Not necessarily a card pick, but I'm going to ride those trends. Give me the Sunday night favorite in the 49ers.
Yeah, Huff, what did they start? Or dogs are like 1 or 8-1
Dogs
in the first like 9
under
games.
Sunday night spread underdogs last year started the season 8-0.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
This year it's the
Who'd you
favorites.
say you got?
I got the Niners.
Wow, that's scary to say that we're all on the Niners. It makes me want to take the Broncos
Especially
after that.
off the Russ stand.
I know, Russ. I thought you were going to be on, and I was going to be safe.
I'm just riding a trend. I'm not saying that's a pick, and like I said, I could probably end up taking. I'm not necessarily leaning away from the Broncos, but
Russ
I'll
in
ride
the
the
prime
trend.
time. Russ in the. I know that week one. I'm going to chalk it up to week one in Seattle. They were so hyped up to him. Now I'm going to look at that game. It's an overreaction game, and I know they looked terrible last week. But Russ in the prime time is something. Usually you can cook.
It's legit, and this is a team that he's played before.
But
Russ
I
in
am
Seattle.
I'm
Russ in
sticking with
Seattle
my
on prime
pick.
time.
I'm sticking with my pick. Now I'm talking myself out of it, but I'm sticking with my pick in the Niners. I know the Jimmy G incentive, but regardless of all that, that team is built so well on both sides of the ball. The defense is insane. Like I said, I'm riding the defense like I am with the Buccaneers. I like the coaching and the defense coming out of San Francisco. And, yeah, Russell Wilson hasn't proven anything yet.
Yeah, the reason I'm on the Niners, riding the trend that I just said, Sunday night favorites, I think we could see something with that. But I just think the 49ers, like you said, to allude back to your Russ point, I mean, this is a team that he's played his entire career. He knows how the 49ers play. He's seen this elite defense. He saw it last season. Not saying he's going to get blown out, but I like the 49ers come out on top.
Good stuff there for our Sunday primetime game. Let's move into the Monday primetime game with Mackey's Dallas Cowboys at Mackey's New York Giants.
This is the Mackey game of the week.
New York.
New Jersey.
For real. Yeah, this is the Mackey game of the week with the Giants coming in as the favorite at -1.5. The money line sitting at -126 for the Giants, plus 108 for the Cowboys, and the over-under sitting quite low at 39.5. Both these teams winning by just 3 points last week. Can the Giants hang for another week? The Cowboys are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 when playing as the underdog, and the Giants have lost 6 straight Monday Night Football games. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup here. Do you like the Giants here, Mackey? Your New York Giants that are from New Jersey.
I'll tell you what. I do not like the Giants here. I think that this is probably the worst 2-0 team we've ever seen in the last 22 years of on this planet. But I mean, Daniel Jones is just a fraud. You could say he's 2-0. I mean, he's only turned the ball over once this season. But I just don't think they have enough to get to 3-0. This team is definitely fraud. They're just frauds. They're not good enough to win a division. They're not good enough to stay at the top, stay in the competition for. I just don't think they have enough in them. And I know this is a depleted Cowboys team without Dak Prescott, but Cooper Rush came in last week and beat Joe Burrow, who was in the Super Bowl last year, in a game that they're 7.5-point underdog. So he proves that he's proving that he has it in him to get a win against a team that maybe isn't the best, just keep afloat. So I think Dallas can win this game even on the road.
What a matchup we have this week on Monday Night Football. Cooper Rush versus Danny Dimes. Nothing more I'd want to see. Just kidding. I'll probably no, I'll still watch. I love football. What are you talking about? But yeah, can't make
And
a pick here.
you're gonna bet on it too. So
yeah, and I'm gonna take the under because nobody on that field knows how to score points. I mean, the kickers will probably score more than the quarterbacks combined.
Trayvon Diggs pick 6.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy game. That Dallas defense has been playing out of their minds lately, huh? But they get a little easier task in the Giants. But Monday night game, it's going to be tough. I'm taking the under here.
Hold up. I don't know what happened. All right, well. I think we're starting new. We have to start a new one, but yeah. Not sure what happened, but we're okay.
I definitely pressed something. I don't know what it was.
Mac did.
Yeah. I was like,
All right, let's bang this out real quick. So
Yeah,
all right,
we're almost done.
I'm going to roll right here real quick. Are we recording?
Yes, we're recording.
All right. Yeah, so to allude to both of what you said, Mackey, I'm with you on the Cowboys. I'd like them to come out and win this thing outright. Give me the Cowboys money line plus 108, and I'll take it with the under, Ace. I was sitting there right there with you. I was going to say, give me the Cowboys in a primetime snooze fest, 23-7, 23-10. Give me the Cowboys.
I like that.
that's for Mackey.
What a song.
I think the Giants do get it done on Monday Night Football, though. I mean, I'm not going to take someone. Like Huff said, I'm locking in the under, but I think the Giants get to 3-0. Worst 3-0 team of all time. Let's ride with the streak, hey? But, yeah, no, going to be a boring game, but look out for our picks. We'll definitely find some good props. Mackey and I like digging on primetime games, so.
That was fun.
Saquon Barkley, primetime guy right there for you. Barkley, Diggs, interception. I could see an interception by both quarterbacks. I hit on that Kirk one last week, so definitely going to have to look again this week.
When did
divisional game,
that hit? I stopped watching that game. What?
It hit
He
twice,
threw
but it
three.
hit
Well, I know
Oh,
he
I
had.
thought it-
I know he had 3 picks. I'm saying, when was the first one? Like, how fast did he throw?
beginning
a
of
pick?
the second half.
Oh,
First
yeah.
half when they played it close to the vest when the game was kind of out of reach. He had to take his shots. He was just
Yeah.
throwing it up.
I gotcha.
At one point, he just threw it
Sure.
without even looking to Justin Jefferson right to Darius Slay.
I gotcha. Yeah, I
Is that
wasn't,
like going into the end zone, kind of?
Yep.
I wasn't
Yeah,
really watching that
that's
game.
bad.
That's why I was asking.
And the play before Slay dropped the pick, and then the very next play throws it right back to him.
He's like,
Classic
here.
primetime Kirk.
He's like, here, try again.
Yeah, just making sure I had that bet. He's like, I got you, Ace. I was like, thank you there, Kirk. But yeah, no, it's going to be a dogfight. NFC East always is in the prime time. They love giving us those games in the prime time because they know we wouldn't watch them elsewhere. 2 big-time quarterbacks there, Rush versus Jones. Yeah, give me the under.
Good stuff there. I think that's going to wrap up our week 3 analysis of all the games here. Lots of good games going on. The Hit the Books game of the week this week is the Green Bay Packers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Expect picks from us for that game, as well as many others here on our social media platforms. Anything else from you boys?
Yeah, stay tuned to all the social media platforms. Like we said, college football picks have been pretty hot. Something we haven't really been advertising too much. So stay tuned to the Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff for all of our picks each weekend. Usually got the college football picks coming out around 11 a.m. right before the noon slate starts. So definitely going to want to stay tuned. Turn on your post notifications for Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everything, the whole 9 yards. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening. Like Jesse said at the beginning, leave a rating, helps us out. Yeah, that's it for me. See you guys next week. Fucking win some bets this weekend. It's about damn time.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, Huff. Definitely looking forward to another week. Like Huff said, be ready on the lookout. Thursday, about 2 hours before kickoff, we'll be posting those. Saturday morning, you'll have your college picks. Sunday morning for the NFL, and then the late night slates and the prime time we'll have coming at you too. So everything you need to know about the betting weekend. Fade Huff. That's all I got to say. Let's roll.
Fade Huff.
Yep.
Yeah, boys, basically it. Another week of gambling. Just follow along. See if we can get everyone back on the winning track. See what we can do here.
Yeah, Mackey, you're up 5.3, I think I was looking.
Yeah, tell me for now until I start losing. Just
5
wave.
unit New York parlay.
5 unit.
5.29, Mackey.
Mackey's willing to
Yeah,
risk
that's
all his
looking-
units for his New York boys.
That's unofficial.
Unofficial, officially. And that's going to do it for us this week on Hit the Books podcast. Thank you for all the support week in and week out. Please be sure to share and check out our various social media platforms and check out our website. All the info is located in our link tree in the description below. And always remember to hit the books.